Really? Really?
I was the next year riding.
Go on. That was Pootie Woo to say. Really? Really, Big Daddy? Really?
Right, please don't say nothing funny, please.
What you mean?
I'm just saying.
Oh, man.
Right.
See, that's exactly why he wants to curse. He coughed.
They're going to ask you some questions.
No, I ain't voluntarily.
I'm just here for the ride alone.
Rodney said,
Yeah, do this.
Rodney said for me.
Put it on.
I'm not really here for that.
But yeah, I just since you have.
I was saying hair forward or hair back?
Forward.
So it's just I'm a tad bit warm.
Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
I said just a tad bit.
She all right. She all right.
No, we won't.
Look what you got on.
That's what needs to be on. That's what needs to be on.
Don't let it get cold with her.
Cold in here, man. It's hot in here, I know that.
I need the iron, boy. I ain't cold. I don't want to get cold.
Okay. Y'all wipe your mouth off, lick your lips.
See?
Yeah, lick your lips. Sometimes I do interview my lip, you drive. You don't know what was over, you can't change it. Okay, so
That's so
lick
funny.
your lips.
You can't change.
You can't change it. So lick your lips, you know, make sure you got no color in your mouth like I am.
Oh, bless it.
I'm just saying.
I done been mine twice.
When you get on TV, the first thing you're going to see it.
He said start off center now.
Why you didn't tell me I had it?
Yeah, Karen, make sure you're.
We're ready when everyone else is.
We waiting on Archer.
With Archie.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here today. We come before you to address the public safety crisis that has plagued Decatur for far too long. A crisis of corruption, collusion, reckless leadership, and a complete disregard for accountability within the Decatur Police Department, as well as Decatur City government. For decades, the Decatur Police Department has operated with a culture of secrecy, brutality, and selective enforcement, disproportionately targeting the Black citizens of Decatur. Long before September 29, 2023, we watched as the DPD built a legacy of corruption, one that stretches back into our childhoods and extends further than we all know. Units like the infamous Jump Out Boys and Street Hawks terrorize our neighborhoods, using excessive force while pretending to engage community programs like ACEs and PALs, which wear nothing more than veils to hide their misconduct. While this report does not extend back into the 90s, history does matter. The deep-seated mistrust between our community and the Decatur Police Department is not imagined. It has been earned through decades of abuse, intimidation, and systemic failures. And now, with this independent review, we have irrefutable evidence that this culture of corruption persists today. On the heels of a third-party review conducted by Green Research and Technology, we now have the documented proof that confirms what so many in our community have experienced firsthand. The Decatur Police Department, under the so-called leadership of Todd Kenyon, is not only failing in its duty to protect and serve, but is actively engaged in misconduct that undermines public trust. Recently, Chief Todd Kenyon stood before the media and the people of Decatur to claim that crime is down and that the report does not reveal systemic structural problems within the department, while belittling a 43-page report to just failure in communication. Well, we beg to differ. The statistics tell a different story. According to crime reports, The chance of becoming a victim of a violent crime in Decatur is 1 in 205, while property crime rates stand at 1 in 42, far above national averages. Furthermore, Decatur's total crime rate is 29 per 1,000 residents, meaning the chance of becoming a victim of any crime is 1 in 35. The violent crime rate is significantly higher than in many similarly sized cities, and the department's response times and clearance rates remain troubling low. These numbers expose a reality that cannot be ignored. Our community continues to suffer from crime, misconduct, and a lack of true accountability within the Decatur Police Department. The department's history of manipulating reports and strategically misplacing critical information only furthers their unwillingness to face the truth. The report reveals a department that manipulates, withholds, and strategically misplaces information to avoid accountability. The report shows that the department is not using the critical software IA Pro that is used to track and catalog complaints made on officers. Upon further review by Green Research Technology, only a third of complaints filed were entered into IA Pro, which gives way more for significant concern. Not only was information not stored properly, but departments of internal affairs aided in covering up the infractions by concocting stories contrary to police statements, but also police statements contradict body-worn camera footage and statements given by the victims, whose stories typically match the body-worn camera footage. It exposes a city government structure that is not just complicit in this corruption, but actively enabling it. This is not just about a few bad officers. This is about a system that prioritizes power over justice, self-preservation over transparency, and control over community trust. The report by Green Research and Technology also corroborates this, stating that some officers feared speaking out due to retaliation, as well as stating that officers would be reprimanded in accordance with who they were or who they were friends with, which bears similarities of statements of the community. The time for excuses is over. The people of Decatur will no longer tolerate a police department that sees itself as above the law. We will not accept leadership that prioritizes secrecy over safety, and we will not rest until justice is served. To the citizens of Decatur, your voice matters. Your experiences matter. Your demands for change are valid. We must stand together, speak out, and hold our public officials accountable. To the media, you have a responsibility to expose the truth and amplify the voices of those who have suffered under this broken system. We are calling for immediate action. The citizens of Decatur deserve a police department that operates with integrity, transparency, and accountability. We demand the following. 1, full public disclosure of the Green Research and Technology report without redactions or political interference. Independent oversight of the Decatur Police Department, free from the influence of those currently in power. Immediate policy reforms to end the culture of excessive force, racial profiling, and obstruction of justice. A leadership overhaul within DPD, starting with those who have perpetuated corruption and failed to uphold their duty to serve and protect all citizens equally. The immediate firing of Chief Todd Pinion and his command staff, as their leadership has failed this community and proven to be part of the problem, not the solution. And to the Decatur Police Department, the era of unchecked power has come to an end. The community is watching, and we will not back down. Justice is not optional. Reform is not negotiable. And we will not stop until the Decatur Police Department is transformed into an institution worthy of the trust and respect of the people that it serves. Thank you.
Can you spell your first and last name for us?
S-H-A-R-O-N-D-A, last name A-C-K-L-I-N.
The title?
Community advocate.
Community advocate, standing power.
Does anyone have any questions?
You're calling for certain demands, right? As
certain, and then there's the whole conversation of accountability. Chief Pinion gave a presser, and he followed it with the same comments at the city council meeting on Monday. Right? What are we asking him to do right now at this point?
You said, what are we asking him to do?
Yeah. If you could speak up still with that, what are we asking him now?
To resign, to holding the time for accountability and transparency and to do the right thing. You have time when you have time, but his time is over because he did not take the time to do what he needed to do when we were asking, before the report came out, before the gag order, before all the unnecessary arrests that we week in and week out told the council what was happening, told the mayor what was happening, sat down with Ty Pinion on the second floor in his office in his conference room for months saying the same thing over and over and over again. So now you want to come out and you want to have a press conference. Now you want to come to the council meeting for the first time in 16 months and speak when the fire is at your front door, when it's been at your front door and the whole house is burning. You had the opportunity then and you didn't take the opportunity to do what you needed to do. So now you want us to sit back and give you a chance to figure out what to do when that time is over, and that's not what we want. You have to go. It's time for new leadership. It's time for people to come in that know what they're doing, that want to be held accountable, that want transparency, that want the community to thrive, the city to thrive. And that's what we're asking for. We don't need Ty Pinion anymore because he doesn't want to do what he needs to do. If he wanted to, he would have done it, and he hasn't done it.
If he doesn't resign, it's my understanding that either the mayor or the city council process in place that they could remove the police chief. What's the next step there as far as who do you reach out to, who do you call that?
So we just continue to push and continue to put force and pressure onto the city council until they give us what we want. We do have open lines of communication with certain city council members, and we've been using that as a way to negotiate and make sure that they do what's right. Some of the city council members we do not deal with. We're trying to build those relationships because they have been broken down through mistrust and not doing anything effective. So we're going to continue to push, and we're going to continue to advocate like we've always done until we get all of the city council members that we need in line.
Is there a time frame, Julian?
Now?
Immediately.
Absolutely. What needs to happen for you to regain complete trust in Decatur Police?
The removal of Chief Ty Pinion would be the first. The removal of his command staff would be second. Actual oversight, actual taking accountability for what's going on in this department. There have been multiple videos released since the Green Report that shows DPD is out of control, and from the report it states that Todd is not the leader. The report states that the police officer said that he's not the leader, that other members of the command staff are the leader. So if the command staff is leading this and we see what's happening through these videos and these reports, all of them need to go before we can gain trust in the Decatur Police Department.
Do you think you could ever gain trust in Chief Todd Pinion?
No.
Absolutely not.
Even he stated a lot of things in his press conferences, but he never personnel, people of the police department, black and white, said that he was not in control of it. And certain people did certain things. You know, people that Chief Allen had put at desk, he took them off the desk, put them back on the street. You know what I'm saying? He contradicted everything that man put in place, which he had the thing under control. Me personally, I would have rolled with what he had, but he done it different. And now here's the results of it.
Has the trust and the fear and the mindset changed since Todd Pinion went up there and said that he wasn't going anywhere?
Got worse.
Yes.
It's always been a public safety issue. That is what this is about. It's a public safety issue for the entire city.
Look what happened on the third Friday. We've been marching a whole year. Look what happened there. And he told Danny to stay right here for a minute. Renshaw said he didn't care what he said.
In his face.
Also, you can't trust someone who continues to lie. If you want to gain our trust, then we need you to begin to be honest. That's the beginning point. Not only did Chief Pinion lie in his press conference, when he addressed the council on Monday, he lied yet again. So that furthermore drives a wedge between us having any hopes of trusting him to do the right thing.
And he lied from day one when they killed Steve. He came, had a press conference. Y'all was there. We told him to drop his gun. He wouldn't drop his gun, and we killed him. I'm talking about a flat-out lie. I'm talking about just lie. And he's yet to even apologize or came to this lady, his wife or his family, to say, hey, look, I was wrong. Never. But I know what that is. See, familiarity. See, in time past, they've been able to kill black men, shoot them, stage stuff on them, hang them, things of that nature, and get away with it. That's why he was so quick to respond. If you look in the report, it talks about being quick to respond. That's an error of his. And now, a year, 2 years later, now he can speak publicly now. He had a problem with public speaking until the report came out.
I want to talk more about what you just said. A lot of the report talks about the lack of communication coming from DPD. How much has that been felt from you guys, especially in these last couple of years?
There's still no transparency or accountability.
And communication has always been a problem. When you have a problem, when you have something that needs fixed, the first thing you got to do is you got to recognize what the problem is, and you got to state what the problem is. And then the people around you need to know what the problem is. And then when everyone understands what the problem is, then you can come together and figure out a solution to the problem. But if no one wants to talk about the problem, if you want to be a chief from behind the scenes like he says he is, then no one's going to ever know what's going on and how do we fix it. And that's what we've been saying the whole time. Like I said before, we continuously have met with Todd Pinion over and over and over again. And we're done with it. We haven't met with him in months. But when we were, that's the first thing we would say is, hey, we need you to communicate. We need you to step up and do the right thing, or say what you're going to do. Give us something actionable that we can see. Give their officers something to look to push forward to the community and the city, something to do so they can see what steps we're going to take to fix it. And he's never done that. And if you're not doing it then, you're not going to do it now. Because when someone shows you who they are, you believe them every single time.
And also, just looking down through the community and the different videos that have been sent to us just this week, his officers are out here like cowboys in India. I mean, they're out here fighting citizens. They're out here, one guy is just beating up on a lot of different citizens, and we can't have that in our community. So Todd needs to leave so that we can get the right person in, so that we can redo that police department, because he's setting our city up for lawsuits.
This would be a question for anybody. Sort of elaborate on the importance of a non-redacted version of the report being disclosed to the public. Obviously, you know, Herman Marx talked about the legality of it, but despite all that, just what are y'all going to, for people who are watching at home, the importance of a non-redacted version being released to the public?
Well, in order to get the full story, you need the full story.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, if I take out parts of the story, then I only see what you want me to see. And although the report is damning, the report would have been even more damning had they left those parts in there. And they left out good examples and bad examples, but they did that for a reason. They did that because they didn't want us to see any of it, so that they could say, oh, we left out any situation that included an officer incident because we wanted to make sure that any future litigation was not tied to the report. When that's not their job, that's not their purview, that's not what they're supposed to do. They hired Green Research and Technology to come in and do a third-party review of the police department to tell us what's wrong with it, the good things and the bad things, and to tell us how to fix it. But when they got the report back, they decided that, hey, we're going to sit here and we're going to take out what people need to see so that we don't look bad. And that's not what was needed. Everyone needed to see exactly what was in the report so everyone could get a clear view of what the report was saying. but that's not what they want. They want to hide, and they want to sit back and throw rocks and hide their hand and not tell people what was actually going on, because that's what they do. That's what they've been doing, and that's the way you hold power. That's the way you keep people in the shadows and keep secrecy so that they don't actually know what's going on. And that's the problem that we have with the redacted version of the report.
And they also need to release the videos to that report as well, because we have not seen, the public have not seen the videos that they're hiding.
How did this review start? I mean, it was spurred. I've had several conversations with all of you. And before the report changed hands and wound up with Chief Penny's hands, how did this, what spurred this report? If Danny and Ms. Perkins, do you want to answer this question? I know it was spurred on by someone other than Jacob Ladd and the City Council. Somebody put it in Jacob Ladd that there needs to be a review of the police department.
Well, we continuously talk to him about it. I do want to say that Councilman Jackson had also been trying to reach out to Green Research and Technology for a while to get them to come in and to do a review. But we were constantly saying, hey, these are the things that's going on. If you don't believe us, then hire someone to come in and find out for themselves, and then that way they can tell us what's needed and what's not needed, and if our stories and thoughts are valid. And then the gag order was the thing that really pushed Ladner over the edge of it, because like he said before, he's talking to people from all sides, people that are for the police, people that are against things that certain police do, because we're not against police. We're against bad policing.
Right.
Right? We need police in our communities. We need people that serve and protect. But when you're not serving and protecting and all you're doing is doing what you want to do, then that's bad policing. And so when he saw the gag order, when he saw the things coming from the police department that everyone understood that should not be happening, then he said, okay, now I have the evidence. Now I have the concrete things in front of me that I can go out and say, we need to know what's going on in our police department.
And in the ruling of the judge also had a real influence on the report.
This police department is currently under a permanent gag order. For a police department to be under a gag order says a lot about the police department. If Todd was experienced and if he knew how to do his job, no one would have to come in and give him recommendations because he would know what to do. He does not know what to do, and that's why he needs to leave.
And to piggyback off what she just said, even if you don't know what to do, find someone that does. Seek out someone that has more knowledge than you do and ask them, how do I get through this situation? How do we fix it? And he hasn't done that. And we've continuously said, Todd, find someone, reach out to someone, call someone, do something. And as you can see, the first time y'all saw him, I don't have to tell y'all when the first time you saw him, was last week. And then Monday at the council meeting. Where has he been for the last year and a half?
We've given him time. Time is up. No more time for Todd. We've given him, the mayor, the council, putting him time to try to clean this up. After this amount of time, it's time for new leadership. And I think most of the council will agree with me. It's time for new leadership because he's just dragging his feet. He's just buying time, and lives are being destroyed because of his leadership.
And please understand, everyone is at home. Again, this is a public safety issue for all of us. None of us are safe without a leader in that seat.
You mentioned independent oversight, calling for that. How do you see that working? What entity do you see as kind of being that independent?
Well, what I think you said regarding oversight,
Yes.
The police department, even when Todd is gone, they still need guidance to make sure that policies and procedures are being enforced, that they're not breaking laws, that they're filing compliments, that they're not neglecting their duties. And so I also feel like that there needs to be someone over whoever transitions into his role. They need guidance as well, because the citizens need to know what is being properly done and how we are officers. We need to know to make sure that we're safe, and it can be also another step of transparency.
Does that come though from somebody within the city? Does that come from an entity outside? I'm just trying to get at.
Honestly, especially with the internal affairs, it needs to be, I will just say it. I feel like the city has already built trust with Green Research and Technology. They know what they're doing. They need to outsource the internal affairs to them to make sure that complaints are being put in the system, making sure disciplinary actions are enforced, and just making sure they have another eye to watch over our police department as we transition into new leadership.
New leadership is necessary. The Dallas Cowboys.
Thank y'all.
You got more questions?
Thank y'all.
She's not. She's not.
Hey,
No, you read well.
Dallas Cowboys got this coach. Good job. Dallas Cowboys got your name.
Can I get your name, sir?
Title, standing up,
Strategic advisor.
ANCE.